This morning, a grand jury decides not to indict anyone in connection with the 2024 officer-involved shooting death of Doug Harless. And a big day for shoppers in Pikeville as a major retail store reopens 1 year after being destroyed by floodwaters.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Neely Green here with you on this Monday, February 23rd. The time is now 6:32 and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmond for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, I know it's snowing this morning, but I cannot get over those winds this weekend. It was so windy and so cold.
It was so windy, and we're going to have some more wind picking up later tomorrow, too, that we're watching. So really just the windy season as we're heading throughout the next several days. But here's what you need to know as you're heading out the door this morning. We're looking at temperatures in the low 20s, some folks in the upper teens. But due to those winds, many folks will feel like the low teens. So it's going to be very cold this morning. Layers are essential. And as we head into the afternoon, the low to mid 30s are high temperatures. And again, the wind chill is going to make it feel even colder, with many folks still feeling below freezing, even if their temperatures say that they are slightly above. Either way, though, it's going to be cold, and you're going to need maybe some snow gear as we're watching that snow continuing to fall this morning, which will clear as we're heading overnight. But otherwise, we're looking at cloudy skies throughout the day. Neely.
Thank you, Megan. Late Thursday night and early Friday morning, one county here in the mountains experienced some flooding. McGoffin County saw heavy rains and some parts even hail. Many roads and culverts saw debris and standing water. 911 dispatch did not receive any calls regarding flooded homes. Emergency Management Director Robert Prater says he is grateful that is all the area saw.
For a disaster to be declared, it takes multiple households for it to get into. If it gets into one or two homes, there's no disaster declared, so those people are just kind of, hopefully they have insurance on their homes.
Prater reminds folks that seeing water still standing in some roadways to approach them with caution. The people of Pike County are beginning to see signs of progress following the flood that ravaged several communities 1 year ago. The Pike County Fiscal Court hosted a home buyout session Friday, working with the USDA to purchase properties from area flood survivors. The first home buyouts took place Friday afternoon, providing payment to several property owners who are seeking to leave the floodplain area. Officials say the buyout process is a significant milestone for the county and will help fund the future for people like Sylvia Sowards, who's been waiting for a permanent place to call home since her Virgie property was hit by the flood.
Only God knows what this means to me today, because I just turned 86 6 days before the flood. I'm hoping and praying that I'll get a little house. It's small, but I don't need a big house.
USDA officials say 208 Pike County property owners have applied for the voluntary buyout program since the February flood, and they hope to buy as many properties as possible to get folks out of the danger zone. While some Pike Countyans received money Friday as a sign of flood recovery progress, others are spending money. With the grand reopening of JCPenney in the city of Coal Run, WYMT's Buddy Forbes has a look at the retailer's return to the Weddington Plaza.
JCPenney in the city of Coal Run welcomed shoppers back into the building Friday for the first time since floodwaters ravaged the Weddington Plaza 1 year ago.
Pikeville's had pennies for 30 years, so the community's missed pennies, and pennies has missed the communities.
Store manager Bobby Alloy says the community showed up with huddles of shoppers lining the walkway before employees cut the ribbon and the business reopened its doors.
The people, I videoed every one of them going in except probably the last 100. And we're just standing out here kind of waiting for some of the crowd, but nobody's come back out.
Linda Lowe says she has been a loyal JCPenney customer since she married her husband more than 50 years ago and realized he had a JCPenney credit card. So having one close to her Johns Creek home for decades has always been a blessing.
I took that card and ran with it, and I've been going with it ever since. And I actually am an avid JCPenney shopper. I love it. I missed it so bad I didn't think this day would ever happen.
Aloy says many regulars shared Blackburn's worries, but contractors and the JCPenney team have been working hard to bring the store to life, reclaiming the space from the racks to the registers.
A lot of the community were concerned that we weren't going to be able to come back. So I think it really lifts the community up.
With many saying the retailer is not only back, but brighter and better than ever.
I think it's fantastic. It's far more than I really would have expected.
The store is the first flooded retailer to recover and reopen in the plaza, joining Planet Fitness as the only operating business. And those celebrating the new chapter say they hope it is a step forward for not only the store, but the entire shopping center.
Your larger retailers are anchors in the plaza. You really need those anchors to be able to help support the smaller businesses that open up throughout the plaza. It helps drive traffic into the plaza, and it helps the small business too. So I think it's to everyone's advantage.
In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The store manager says the reopening brought back 15 familiar faces who were employed at the store before the flood and brought in 20 new employees. This story is new this morning. Emergency crews responded to a crash in Laurel County last night. Dispatchers with the London Laurel County 911 Center say the call came in around 8:20 for a collision on South Laurel Road. You can see several cars were involved, with one flipping onto its side. We're working to learn more about what led up to the crash and whether anyone was hurt. Police have arrested a person for a serious crash in Laurel County. It happened around 9 p.m. Friday night near London on Kentucky 192. 2 cars were involved. One person was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Deputies say one of the drivers, Amber Taylor, is being charged with driving under the influence. She is now in the Laurel County Correctional Center. One person is dead and 2 are hurt after a crash in Harlan County. Kentucky State Police say it happened just after 12:30 Friday in the Hiram community of Harlan County. 3 cars were involved. All 3 drivers were taken to the hospital, 2 by air due to the severity of their injuries. One driver, 45-year-old Ashley Toll, was eventually pronounced dead. The investigation is ongoing. One person was killed in a house fire in Letcher County. It happened just before 8 Saturday morning at a home on Kentucky Highway 343 in the McRoberts community. He's been identified as 70-year-old Robert Mullins. Kentucky State Police say no foul play is expected. An investigation onto the fire is ongoing. Crews worked to put out a large brush fire that broke out in Whitley County. It happened around 3 on Friday on Log Cabin Road near the Canada Town community. The Woodbine Fire Department says high winds made the scenes very dangerous, leading them to call in multiple agencies for help. While they were able to contain the fire, crews stayed at the scene for hours to make sure it was fully extinguished. The fire department wants to remind people that spring fire season is in effect and a daytime burn ban is in effect until the end of April. One firefighter is recovering after a massive fire in Rockcastle County. It happened Saturday afternoon at the County Road Department garage. Fire crews from several agencies were called to the fire. It took them 7 hours to put it out. The Broadhead Fire Department says the building had major damage. One of the firefighters was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Police have made 3 arrests in an organized fraudulent check scheme in Lawrence County. Louisa police say the investigation started after suspicious activity was reported on Tuesday. Investigators found that multiple suspects opened bank accounts using forged documents, as well as depositing federal tax refunds that were obtained using stolen identities. Police arrested Kason Madden of Florida, Cody Hughes of Tennessee, and Tina Dunphy of New Jersey. All 3 have been charged with organized crime and possession of forged instruments. A Laurel County grand jury has decided not to indict anyone in the fatal shooting of Doug Harless. Harless was killed just 2 days before Christmas back in 2024. The family says the 63-year-old was asleep when police surrounded his home. KSB says that London police were there to serve a search warrant when Harless pointed a gun at officers who then fired. Open records requests revealed dispatch audio from that night. That audio indicated that officers had a search warrant for a home on the same street, but not Harless's address. That home was just a few doors down. That warrant was tied to an investigation into a stolen weed eater taken from a property belonging to the Laurel County Judge Executive. The London Police Department says they are now conducting an administrative review while the Harless family has filed a civil lawsuit. There's been a lot of concern raised over the state budget bill that's been filed at the state capitol. Teachers, state retirees, and others say it's in current form. The spending plan will lead to too many cuts. House Republicans say it's a work in progress and say they are simply working to fix mistakes made before they had the majority. But House Democrats unveiled a counter proposal Friday. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the debate leading to the new spending plan for the state.
They're holding your tax dollars hostage.
House Democrats claim there's $1 billion in unbudgeted general funds they can spend, but that the Republican plan cuts education, health care, and retirement benefits.
State workers are saying the spike in health insurance costs will force them into second and maybe even a third job.
They called a news conference Friday to announce 7 budget amendments, the biggest being $670 million for education.
The House Democrats' proposal increases SEEK funding, raises the per student amount over 2 years, better funds school transportation, and delivers a meaningful educator and support staff pay raise.
House Republicans say this is only a starting point, a work in progress, but they say that when you look at what is being proposed by the administration in its current form, funding $2 billion for simply one part of the budget per year is simply not responsible for taxpayers and for the state as a whole. The Budget Committee chairman said the cost for the health plan employees benefit alone was that $2 billion. House Speaker David Osborne released a statement Friday that said House Democrats could join the committee's work rather than call press conferences. He says Kentucky is still recovering from Democrats' failed policies, including billions in unfunded pension debt. Democrats claim that Republicans want people to suffer.
They have a problem on their hands. They put out the worst budget that Kentucky has ever seen, and now they don't know how to clean up their mess.
There's no word on when that budget will be voted out of committee. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WKYT. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Speaker Osborne also said the Republicans remain committed to reviewing any proposals as the process moves forward. We have the entire statements from Kentucky's House Speaker on WYMT's News app and WYMT.com.
And we're still tracking those very cold temperatures as you're starting off your day. The upper teens and low 20s for most folks. It's going to be very cold, and with the wind chill, it's going to feel even chillier than that. Many folks feeling like the low teens this morning. The afternoon, though, it'll be still cold, low to mid 30s, and we are watching those snow chances on and off throughout the day. Snow showers this morning, and then some flurry chances as we are finishing off the rest of your Monday. Here's a look at what you need to know as you're heading off to the bus stop. Seeing those snow chances, temperatures in the low 20s by the time you're heading home, while those temperatures will be in the upper 20s, low 30s. Stay with us. More Mountain News is on the way.